Hola amigos, Hannah from Speak Better Spanish here. Today I'm going to talk to you about what Spanish classes with me are like. So you might have been following my channel, you might be just tuning in for your very first video, and you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, I could use some additional help on my Spanish. What I've been doing on my own or with the other resources that I have just hasn't really gotten me where I want. So what's next? Well, a lot of times working with a teacher one-on-one can be a great next step, especially if you need help with conversation, because it is definitely something that's hard to achieve when you're on your own unless you have some friends, coworkers, or the type of situation where you're able to practice conversation. So I get asked a lot, what are classes with me like? And I'm going to give you guys my spiel. So I have two ways that you can work with me. I have my 30-minute conversation sessions, which the goal is just to speak in Spanish the entire time. Don't worry, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I will facilitate the conversation based on your level, even if we've never met before, and even if you are a total beginner and just starting to learn Spanish for the first time, not to worry. I have worked with people of all ages, all levels. I've seen it all. It's all good. I am here to help you. I always tell my students, hey, if you already knew everything, we wouldn't be here right now, right? So I'm here to help you. I'm here to be a tool and help you achieve your goals. So in those 30-minute conversation sessions, I try to facilitate the conversation. The goal is for you to get more comfortable speaking Spanish. The only way to do that is to keep speaking Spanish. And I know we get in our heads and we start thinking, oh, but what if I make a mistake? What if I sound stupid? What if I accidentally offend someone? What if I blank out and I can't remember anything and I don't know what to say, or my pronunciation's terrible and don't understand me? Don't worry. The only way to get better at conversation is to keep putting yourself out there. I know how stressful it is. I totally get it. And that's why I've made these 30-minute conversation sessions, because not only is it stressful, but it's also critical. It's also so important to level up your Spanish. You can study grammar all you want, and it is a very helpful tool. But after a certain point, you really just got to start having conversations in order to be able to speak Spanish at work or when you're traveling or whatever your goal and needs are. So with those conversation sessions, they can be free form. A lot of times it's just a casual conversation, like as if I were to call up my friend and say, oh, hey, how's your day going? What's new? How are things at work and your kids? What are you up to this weekend? Things like that. They can also be a bit more structured, because I know that, again, this can be very anxiety provoking. Totally get it. So we do have some options for structuring them if that helps you to feel a little bit more comfortable. So we can have them based around a certain theme, such as restaurants, asking for directions, talking about our hobbies, talking about our family, pets, movies, books, different things like that. So we can have a particular theme assigned for each class, and then you can research and prepare a few different sentences and questions that you might like to ask or state during the class, and I can kind of guide the conversation based on that. Another option is we can watch an episode of a telenovela that we can choose together off of Netflix or another platform. We can each watch in our own time, prepare some notes, questions, new vocabulary we've learned, thoughts about what might happen in the future, comments on characters. We can prepare that kind of information and come together. So having those notes might help you to feel a little bit more comfortable to have that 30-minute conversation. So that's one type of class, the 30-minute conversations. The other type of class is the hour-long grammar classes. So we do have a little bit of conversation at the beginning, could be 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how much you'd like to chat. And that's, to get you feeling comfortable, to get you in a little bit of conversation practice as well. But the main focus of those classes is on grammar. So I have a series of different grammatical workbooks that I like to work with. I've been teaching for probably around 15 years now, and I've had a lot of success with these workbooks. They tend to cover some of the most common issues that come up, as well as some of the most important building blocks for the Spanish language. So whether you are completely new to studying Spanish and you've never studied before and you just don't know where to start, I've got a workbook for you. Or whether you're a bit further along in your journey and need a bit of refining, a little extra help, some certain things that have been coming up a lot, I have workbooks for that too. So once I assess your level, I'll send a workbook to you in the mail, free of charge, as a gift to you, considering that we're working on our classes together. And the way it usually works is we'll start in a certain section and we'll begin to move through the workbook. My priority is on you really feeling comfortable on the material before we move on. So I I would rather you know a few things really well than that you know a lot of things but not well. So we can move at whatever pace is needed. I can assign additional resources as needed. Typically for those classes, we'll work through the workbook. They're structured in a progressive way, presenting information and making the exercises little by little more challenging and building on the information in the previous chapters. Again, we don't have to start at the beginning. It just depends where you're at in your learning journey. And I'll assign you typically about 30 minutes worth of homework outside of class. That'll be to supplement what we've been working on in class and just further reinforce the topics that we're learning to make sure that you're feeling really solid about them before we move on to a new topic. And let's see. And then I have my classes on my website. You can visit SpeakBetterSpanish.com. You can check out pricing there. Some people like to pay as they go. Just some people as they might need a class from time to time just to supplement the studying they're doing on their own. Other people like to work with me every week. Most of my students work with me once or twice every week. You can do more, you can do less. It just depends on your budget and your availability. I'm typically available during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, and a few evenings a week, depending on my personal schedule. Typically not available on the weekends, although who knows, that could change in the future. And so you can either pay as you go for the classes or you can buy a package of classes. I have a 12-hour package, 24-hour, and 48-hour package. And the way those packages work, you can divide them up any way you like between the 1-hour grammar classes and the 30-minute conversation sessions. If you want to start with one at the beginning and later switch over to another or alternate them or whatever, it's totally fine. I usually recommend a combination of the hour-long grammar classes and the 30-minute conversation sessions. If you're just getting started with your Spanish studies, I would recommend maybe doing a month or two worth of hour-long grammar classes just to build up some of the foundations before we move on to the conversation. But I do feel that while grammar is important, I don't want it to ever be a crutch, that we're just so focused on learning grammar that we never take that step to have the conversation. So I think that they can complement each other for most people. Although if you're further along, perhaps just the conversation sessions and maybe an occasional grammar class if there's a particular topic that comes up that we want to dig a little bit deeper into. During our class, I can record the class if you like. They're all one-on-one, so just me and you over video chat. I can record it if you like and share that with you afterwards. I take notes during the class, and by I take notes, I mean like as questions come up or certain things that you're wondering how to say or maybe having trouble like visualizing how is it spelled, I'll type those items out in the chat. At the end of class, I'll send that over to you in an email, as well as I'll send over the homework assignment. It might be an exercise from the workbook. It might be write a few sentences using the topic that we've been using. It might be watch a brief video and make some comments about it. It could be any number of different things. It could be write a few sentences, have a journal about your week before I see you for our next class. Things like that. And we'll start our next class by going over the homework, any questions that have come up. I always say that I'm here as a resource for you guys. So if something comes up, if you're studying Duolingo on your own or in your conversations at work or traveling or with a Spanish-speaking friend that you know, if something comes up that you want to talk about, definitely bring it up. That's what I'm here for. So I'll always ask at multiple points throughout the class, do you have any questions? I try to ask open-ended questions like, after we review some new material, hey, how do you feel about that? And I give some different options. So I say like, okay, so I was thinking that today we can talk about this particular topic, but is there anything else that's come up for you? Or here's another option. What feels like it would be a helpful use of our time today? So very flexible and open to your schedule and open to your feedback as well. And just really here to help you guys. I really enjoy teaching, as you can probably imagine, and I love the Spanish language, but I also understand that it's really challenging, especially for coming from an English-speaking background. There are just a lot of things that they don't have a one-to-one correlation. We have to just memorize and learn through exposure and repetition these new concepts. And it's hard. It really is. But I also hope that you'll feel that it's rewarding and it's fun and it's interesting. Maybe not all the time, but I definitely try to keep it fun for you guys. And yeah, I'm here if you have any questions. So if you are interested in learning more, feel free to check out SpeakBetterSpanish.com on my website or in the comment section below. You can also book a free consultation. Totally free, just a way for us to chat, get to know each other, see if I can facilitate your Spanish learning goals, see if we're a match. So yeah, no obligation from that, but after the consultation, I'll send you over the information for the pay-as-you-go classes and the different hour blocks of classes in case you're interested. Yeah, I hope that pretty much covers what it looks like to learn Spanish with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a long one. And yeah, feel free to book a free consultation, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.